Okay, so severely injured might be a bit of an over-exaggeration, but I did unfortunately manage to injure my wrist to such a degree that I had to put the brakes on a video project I was working on. And that video project was sort of a follow-up on a video I did last year where I attempted to learn a bunch of different calisthenics skills with the parallels. And since I've been getting a lot of new viewers coming to the channel from that video, I thought it was appropriate to do a quick update on where I'm currently at in my calisthenics journey. So, to provide a bit of context, in the beginning of the year, I began training specifically towards achieving the full planche. The planche is an advanced calisthenics movement that requires a lot of upper body and core strength. But in addition, it also requires really strong wrists. Besides that point, I was actually making a decent amount of progress and pretty much everything was going according to plan. That was, however, until I injured my left wrist about 3 to 4 months ago. And what's most annoying is that the injury wasn't even training related. Instead, what happened was that I took a pretty heavy fall while on my skateboard. And in order to protect myself, sort of falling backwards, I instinctively put out my left wrist, and that took the majority of the blow, also resulting in a lot of pain sort of for the next couple of weeks after that. And this is where stupidity and the wrist guard comes into play. And for some reason it didn't immediately occur to me to buy a wrist guard. So for the following months, every time I fell, even if it wasn't a bad fall at that, every time I put any type of pressure on my wrist, the injury would just re-aggravate or get worse. And as a result, that meant that healing my wrist injury ended up taking way longer than it actually had to. And that pretty much should bring you up to speed about where I'm currently at. About 1 month ago, I bought this wrist guard and I've been wearing it when skating, so even if I had to put a little bit of weight on my wrist, it wouldn't re-aggravate my injury. And fortunately, it's slowly been starting to feel better. And staying on that topic, I do actually quickly want to show you what I've been struggling with and what I'm currently capable of doing. Okay, so the way that I injured my wrist meant that whenever I would extend it to a certain degree, I would just get this really sharp pain right in here. So that meant that whenever I would do this movement or put on pressure like so, I would feel an extreme amount of pain. And you know, while I somewhat could get around that by, for example, doing push-ups on the knuckles, thereby not extending and keeping the wrist joint straight, it did mean that I had to completely stay away from a lot of the calisthenics movements I was doing. If, for example, I'm in a tucked planche position, unless I'm strong enough to keep my wrist straight, you can see how there will be a significant amount of wrist extension, which even going past like 15-20 degrees would cause me a lot of pain. Furthermore, even something like holding the L-sit for a prolonged period of time would also be too much load on the wrist and end up triggering pain as well. Fortunately, however, after allowing my wrist injury enough time to heal, I'm finally now starting to feel much better. I can also do weighted push exercises again, so things like dumbbell pressing, bench pressing, I can do completely fine if I don't go too heavy. And finally, I'm also once again able to do probably the most basic calisthenics exercise, which is the push-up. And it's a staple for a lot of the progression movements of the planche and just in general upper body strength. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of wrist extension but no pain. So yeah, feels really good. So with that, I think I'm gonna round off the video here. Now, this was just a short update video that I wanted to do to keep you guys up to speed, and also just to kind of let you know that I do plan on doing more fitness and calisthenics related content, since it is a realm where I do feel like I still have a lot to learn and a lot of different things that I want to achieve. As a final note, I also want this video to serve as a reminder of the fact that sometimes it is completely okay, if not necessary, to put the brakes on a project when met with injury or some sort of adversity, and instead of just ignoring the situation and pushing forward, taking a step back, taking the time to recover, perhaps even reassessing your game plan before you then get started again and dive back in with whatever it was that you were working on. With that said, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.